Hello and welcome to me, the plebeian Simracer, being given the opportunity to go and test the BMW 325 Cup car of the Baltic Touring Car Championship. This came thanks to placing 4th in their E-BaTCC eSports Championship over the winter period. So the top 3 drivers who had never held a real-life racing license before were given a chance to test KTK Racing Division's BMW 325 Cup car. First up, we went to look at one of the reference drivers doing a lap, and I'll let you listen in on what kind of pointers I was given.
Be already on the 7,000 limit because the rules changed. So in this video, this car has still the old program software, so he is slightly earlier. This one is full throttle. You can lift slightly if you're not comfortable in the first time. This one, try to stay off the curb while braking. So yeah, he's pointing really good with this car at this moment. So you basically point your car towards the braking zone like this, and to be as close as possible to the curb, but try to not go to it again. It disturbs the braking, and it's not needed in this part of the track, because the right one, it's pretty long, so you don't need that wide entry to long slow corner. And he's pushing already and hot-headed, and don't brake too late, because the car will not turn if braking too late, and then you risk to go off the track. And it's not your car. We don't want to have bent wheels or something. Well, it's basically really similar to what we drive in the simulator. Nothing new. It's just a real car. So be careful, have fun. Don't break it, don't damage it. It's but the driving is if you're fast with this BMW in the sim, it's basically same principles of driving the real car. It's not that different. It's just you're sitting in the car and you feel it better. You have more information. Yeah, more information how the car turns, how it rotates.
So reference lap video watched. There was not a lot of new information, but of course some nuances of the car and how they're usually driven. I have of course driven this track before, say hundreds of times, but normally with a van and not very quickly. But I have tested some slower cars, my own car, that kind of thing. So not a completely new experience for me, but I hadn't driven a car that actually resembled a racing class, and where I was able to compare my lap times to other drivers of the same class. So in that respect, something new, and definitely the fastest car I've driven around this track. So after the video was watched, there was another driver driving the same car who went out to do another run, and I could just watch on a bit and enjoy the cars going around, some Porsche Cups, some other 325 Cup cars. Soon enough it was time to get strapped into the car myself, get given the final pointers, and sent onto the track. So pretty much what you drive in the sim with these cars is very similar to what you drive in real life, with the exception of if you don't use a H shifter normally, it might be a bit of a learning curve with that. No problems with that for me. Well, not normally. We'll see a bit later what actually went on with the gears. But I actually drive this car in sim with a H shifter as well, so all the racing I did with it was also with a H shifter, which is not very common in that series actually, but yeah. And I drive a H pattern car every day as well, so nothing new for me there. It's just a bit of a nuance for this car, which I had a bit of difficulty getting used to. Well, it wasn't a problem initially, but I started actually missing second a couple laps in, which you will see very soon. So going on to my first lap out, just gonna go and try and get a little bit of a feel for the car, see how it behaves, see what it's like to drive. A couple other cars on track, couple Porsche Cups, one V1600 BMW 1 Series. So straight onto the track. And we go to the turn 10, one of the fastest corners on the, or actually the fastest corner on the track. Bit of a wiggle there, cold tires. Just warm them up. Bit more. So the tires were fairly cold to start off with because the ambient temperature on the day was about 3 degrees centigrade, so not exactly a warm day, and overall the track was fairly green as well. There's some birds that like to go to the track when no one's driving and lay their poo across the track. That was a bit of a reason why the track was green to start off with. So I was driving right about at lunch, so not too much driving beforehand. A couple of cars were already out and cleaning the track, so off onto my second flying lap now. Porsche Cup right behind me, goes past very easily on the straight. It's a bit of a scary sight to see in your mirrors on your second ever lap out. No problems with second gear yet. Bit of a slide there going out the corner. Yeah, just right now getting a feel for it. It's not up to full speed yet. Just really trying to find the limits. Not an ideal line there either. I was going in 4th gear into that corner at the start, or on my first runs. At the end I started experimenting with 3rd and it didn't really seem to be any better. 4th actually it seemed a bit better. They told me to go onto that curve in that corner. That was a bit sketchy. I wasn't really comfortable with that, and it just seemed like it scrubs off a little bit of speed and makes the corner just less smooth. So I stopped doing that. Bit of a slide out of the final corner again. I was already at 30.5, so slowly improving here. So this next one we improve a little bit as well, I believe, but bit of a slide out of the corner there. That's into turn 6 and 7. Not an ideal line again there. I go way too wide and don't get down to the apex on of turn 8. Part of the lap bit loose there. Turn 12 onto the curve on the exit. Bit of a rumble. You feel that through your entire body pretty much, especially in a stiff car like this where you're strapped into the seat. Now we come out to what was my fastest lap of the day, lap 5, 30.33 there, so down to turn 3, which it is called officially. Bit of an over rev actually on the shift down to 3rd, bit too aggressive there. 7,000 is the limit. We went a bit above, shifting pretty much exactly at 7k. Here you want to look for the access road, or the car track road there for the braking. Here actually not ideal. I had to lift a bit on the exit and probably lost a couple tenths there. Right the whole way down the straight. But yeah, 4th gear seemed to be the better choice for that corner. You could just carry more speed, get onto the throttle earlier, and you didn't have to shift going onto the straight. So on the brakes, down to 3rd, actually get it turned in decently, but it could have carried a little bit more speed on the exit. Then back down to 3rd here. Once again, could have carried a little bit more speed. To turn 14, a bit of an awkward corner. It doesn't look it on camera, but it's very hard to get the car turned in there. And the final corner, it's off camber, so the car wants to go wide, and also there's a bit of a bump, so the car does get light, and this car likes to bounce on the exit as well. So that's a 30.04 for my fastest lap of the day. And now we get to the bit where I start missing second gear into the first corner, or officially the third corner. This happened a multitude of times, so I think about 5-6 times. I go to the pits later as well, a couple laps before the end of my stint, and go and ask what it's all about, because I wasn't missing it on the first couple laps, and then suddenly started missing it every lap. So it was a bit of a mystery, but tell you the answer later on. Yeah, again, can't get it into second. Me trying about 5 times there, and then finally get into second. Bouncy on the final corner once again. Gets a bit loose there actually. I was shifting down when I wasn't completely straight. And eventually we find second gear. There you go. I go into the pits to ask the guys what's going on, why am I missing second.
Everything okay?
It doesn't go into second gear in third one. Like I go that third, and then it doesn't go into second. And I have to slow down a lot and try it. The reason ended up being that on these BMWs, the reverse gate is just to the left and up. So there's no lockout. You don't have to lift or push anything, so it just goes into reverse. And that's kind of what was happening. It was going into the reverse gate past second, and then you can't get it into second. So I was shifting too aggressively to second and going too far over to the left, which meant I didn't get it into gear. Now there's a couple laps left. Went into fourth instead of second there. So basically when I started pushing, I started missing it, getting a bit too aggressive with the shifts. And here I try third through turns 7, 8, 9, and it's just not as good really. Fourth felt much smoother, and got on roll earlier. I was trying the line they said to drive there as well. Here's a V1600 1 Series, but I was trying the line they told me to take, which meant going wide in turn 6 and then having a shallower line through 7, 8, 9. And there I get loose again, and now into second with a big drift and more sideways there. So it was actually a crapper line to take it in third and wide. So wide here, yeah, exactly like that. That's how all the BMW 325 Cup drivers usually take it, and to me it doesn't seem as good. What I do is stay on the middle on the exit of 6 and then get a better line through 7, 8, 9. It seemed to be the case with this car as well, for me at least. But there must be a reason why everyone takes it like they do, so maybe I'm not that smart, but it seemed to me like my line was a bit better. And on the second run the car actually didn't feel as good as on the first one. It felt a bit more loose and just didn't feel as planted as on the first one. I don't really know what it was. Could have been just the Sevo and me driving worse as well, being out of the rhythm with gear shifting issues. Yeah, that's my run. Cool down lap and a bit of heel and toe fun. It was actually really sharp with this car. I've never actually had that sharpness on heel and toe downshift, but there goes another 325 Cup car of Dream to Drive team. Basically shutting down the run, going back into the pits to reflect on what just happened. So yeah, it ended up being pretty much exactly like you drive it in sim. The only difference being the track mod that is in Assetto Corsa isn't completely accurate to what real life is, so there's a bit of missing elevation change and a bit of missing banking on some corners. It's not exactly the same, but it's very close. So if you jump into the real car, you basically know what you're doing straight away. Yeah, an amazing experience, and I have to say huge thanks to go out to Baltic Touring Car Championship, KTK Racing Division, and World Sim Series who put this whole esports series together, and this prize as well.
Good, the life was good.
Yeah, the first laps were, funnily enough, the first laps were faster.
Yeah.
I got slower at the end, but
Yeah.
but yeah, low 30.0. So
30.0.
30.0.
Nice, really nice.
There was still a bit of time, but yeah,
Yeah.
I started experimenting and
Yeah.
it didn't get faster. But
Just fast enough. Yeah, really good.
what's like fun to expect?
30.0, it's fast enough. Now it's around 29 and 0, something like this. So should be around 29 and 0.
Okay.
But your first time in this car, so it's
It was like lap 3 or lap 4. So
yeah. So really good.
very happy.
The same car I drove was actually ran in the Nankang Endurance Academy race on the first weekend of the Baltic Touring Car Championship, and it was running roughly 130s to 131s as well, so pace is quite okay. Hopefully it's not the last time I get to do something like this. You guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.